Welcome back, everyone. We are back in Rochester, New York at RIT, Rochester Institute of Technology, and we're meeting with the chair of the Computing Security Department, Dr. Yuan, today. And we are here to learn about, at the collegiate level, how is it that we are better preparing not just Americans, but actually students from around the world to understand cyber defense, cybersecurity, and cyber safety for not only our citizens, but understanding how this works across the world. So, sir, tell us just a little bit about your background and how you came to RIT.
Well, I studied my PhD in SUNY Binghamton, and I worked in the industry briefly for 6 years before I joined RIT as a professor in networking. And back then, we didn't have a security major,
right?
And we gradually evolved into into a major in computing security. Over these 15 years at RIT, I have been seeing the progression of the field of cybersecurity. Starting from a simple wireless hacking to then to more and data breaches and happening in the nation worldwide, and we felt it's a time to create a major, consider cybersecurity as a principle of study.
Yeah, no, that's relatively new even here, isn't it? You've only had it for a few years.
Well, our degree program started 2005 at the master level.
Oh, okay.
At the undergrad level, we started 2007.
2007, okay.
Yeah, but in 2012, we established the Department of Computing Security.
Wow.
And we started very small with only 5 faculty members and about 150 undergrad students. And now we have 15 faculty members and about 400 undergrad students, about 60 graduate students. With the new addition of the building, and we plan to increase our student undergrad population to up to about around 500, and increase our graduate population to about 100.
So about 600 total in the new building then.
Right.
Yeah, so that's exciting.
Yeah.
And, just because I know a little bit about this space, RIT is a little bit different. Like MIT doesn't have a computer security major, where people would probably assume they do. At the Naval Academy, for example, they focus a lot more on the policy of cyber, a lot less on some of these other elements. So what makes RIT unique in the different areas of study?
Right. Well, cybersecurity is a very broad term. Yeah. Pretty much every thing touch on computers or networks, so it's part of well related to cybersecurity. And the program at RIT we call it computing security, and with the focus in computer science based cybersecurity. I define it as using computation approach to solve security problems.
Okay, all right.
So that's called computing security.
Right.
So the nationwide NSA and DHS actually did a great job by establishing so-called National Center of Academic Excellence in Cybersecurity Education and Research and cyber operation. Those designation nationwide is about 400 institutions at a different level.
Well, that's bigger than I thought. Yeah.
Yeah, it's from close to 400. Correct me. I'm starting from for a community college, 2 years program, and then you have 4-year programs, and then you have and also at doctoral level institutions.
Yeah, that's one of the things I like about it. I did know this part, that there are layers, right? So for some people it may be truly the network focused space, and maybe that's more in your 2-year programs, and then there are state schools, and then there are private universities, and then there are those working in theory, and then those are working in the dissertation level of looking forward, and it's a great demonstration of ensuring that it covers all the skill sets of different people, but there's lots of access too.
Yeah, there's a shortage at all levels, especially, for example, we are lacking PhD level cybersecurity researcher or educators.
Well, we don't have a lot of programs in them even, do we, in the PhD level?
Right. I think there are more and more PhD students studying cybersecurity, but we have to compete with industries.
Yes.
And I heard a statistic is that 80% of new PhD go to industry.
80%?
Yeah, and then only 20% come back to academia teach. So we have a severe shortage.
That didn't give us any choices for military or government. There has to be something in there. But this is a true problem, is that it just pays so well to be an industry, and it is so challenging both financially but also personally to be in the government military space.
Right. I mean, the industry enjoying greatly our fine institutions.
But somewhere we need to find that middle. So one of the things we talked about before we got started were these co-ops and internship options. So tell me a little bit about the choices that are available.
Yeah, actually, our program requires 2 co-ops for students before they graduate, and they can go to both industry, government agencies. The co-op provides the opportunity for students to learn from real world, and I often notice that students, after they come back from co-op, they mature a lot.
I bet.
Oh yeah, they become real.
Yes.
And
they're not hidden in this maze of
and also they are more clear what they want to learn.
Good.
What focus they want to focus on. Yeah. So we have very nice co-op with government agencies, and we have many students actually go to agencies during the summer, and even on the first summer after first
that's
year,
amazing.
they actually start a co-op.
And some get their clearance too, right?
Oh yeah, and they have to start a process earlier. Early as in the fall, you start the clearance process. Then for the job in summer.
Right. So immediately upon coming on campus as a freshman, they're already starting to talk about possible options.
Oh yeah.
That is amazing. I know you're used to it, but for most of us, it's like, wow, that's amazing.
I always encourage our students, even though you're first year, first term, you should visit a career fair. And in the first career fair, usually end of September, and they can visit the booth of different agencies and the companies and see what they are looking for, and sharpen their interview skills and polish their resumes. We also offer a co-op seminar that's a required seminar for our students, and basically help them to polish their resumes, interview skills.
Can you offer that to all Americans? Most of us could use some. I'm thinking everybody from the age of 20 to 27 probably could use help. And how do you just interact in the working world? It's a big transition from academics to moving into that space. Right.
Yeah. The IT co-op has a long history. It's 100 years old program.
Wow.
That's the tradition here, and that make our students very importable.
Yes.
Yeah. And upon graduation, they already have working experience.
Yeah.
This is what employers are looking for.
Yeah, I can add to that. I mean, from a government perspective, as we were working on the lifelong learning plan, one of the things we said is, number one, we have to get people hands-on experience. We cannot continue to only focus on formal education.
Right.
It frankly doesn't matter where somebody learns something, it matters that they can do it. But then in military, we started to recognize they have this experience, but if the company or the next agency doesn't understand what that experience means, like how it translates to what they're doing, like we have military leaders.
Yeah.
Being a leader in the military is different than being a leader in a company.
Right.
So how do you help them understand what those underlying skills are that they gained? But you guys are already doing it through these co-ops and the connections. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we can just do that much, in a university setting. Right. And to work in real world is, we provide opportunity and hope they will learn at their job too.
Well, and they're in the mindset of learning, which is nice. Yeah. So to tie a bow around this, one thing that I think a lot of people are asking right now is cost of education. Right. There's a lot of push that, or question on the table. I shouldn't actually say push. For some camps, there's a push. Some people are pushing against. But there's a lot of questions about how do you pay for college? How do you reduce the debt problem that we have? One solution, of course, is to pay everybody's debt off. That is one that's on the table, and some people agree with that, some people don't. But what's interesting here, and specific to cyber defense, is knowing that, number one, we have a shortage coming that we know. Right. Number two, these co-ops are not free. They come with scholarships, and they come with money, and they come with jobs afterwards, correct? Right.
Well, co-op is, we define co-op as paid internship, and students don't need to pay tuition here. Right. The company will pay. Okay, the internship. Yeah. The employer will pay their co-op experience. The provide some living. Yes. Cost. And the in terms of solving this shortage, talent shortage for government, government actually doing a good job providing resources such as a scholarship. We have two kinds of scholarship here. One is sponsored by a National Science Foundation called the CyberCore Scholarship for Service Program.
CyberCore Scholarship for Service. Okay.
That we select the best of best from our students, and they will have a full ride for tuition and a stipend, and also professional development fund. And then in return, they will work for government qualified agencies for the same number of years on the co-op.
Great.
So that's one.
I like to call that a guaranteed job. Some people call it a payback, but I like to call it a guaranteed job.
Right. So that's the one of very nice.
Yes, and that is at every level as well, correct? That's not just your theoretical type. There are 2-year programs and other groups that have that. Right.
Mostly on the 4 years, but recently we tried for some joint program with community colleges. Yeah. So we have 2 years as well.
Awesome.
And we just got a renewal for that program this year.
Great.
And we added some PhD students in the program. So we soon will recruit nationwide for PhD candidates into the program. Now the second scholarship called the DoD Cyber Scholarship Program, and that's administered by NSA. So we help recruit, help students prepare their application material and submit it to NSA, and the NSA and the DoD agencies will select students internally. Once their students are selected, then students will receive the scholarship, and it's very similar benefit like full tuition plus stipend and some professional development money.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So this plays, to kind of close this out, one of the things that I love about this is we've talked a little bit in some previous discussions about the youth programs that are coming up, And now here we have this really nice bridge, it sounds like, in the higher ed space, which then leads into a job. And at no point, if you get the scholarships and if you get the co-ops, you're not paying tuition, you are getting paid in the summer, and you have a guaranteed job at the end.
Right. That would be great.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, and this kind of program is easily replicable into healthcare.
Yeah.
Is easily replicable into environmental studies and energy, and it's nice to know that it already exists.
Yes, but of course the resources, right? Government has to allocate funds into this program, and
yes.
I think this is very well spent, the money.
I'm going to put an exclamation point on that. I would say that investing in the future is something everybody can agree on, and I think when we create these creative ways and opportunities for students to be successful, then we're achieving that goal of reducing the cost to them financially, finding the best people, and we're building our nation up to be ready for the future. So it's just a triple win. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you.